All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go through numbers 6 through 10 on the study guide. So number 6 says, what is the surface area? So what you want to do is you want to find the area of each face of the prism. So we can go ahead, we'll start with the front and the back. So the front and the back, they have dimensions of 7 and 13. So we could do 7 times 13 and 7 times 13, which gives us 91. Then we can do the top and the bottom, which is this face here and this face here. The top and the bottom has dimensions of 13 and 4. So you're going to do 4 times 13, 4 times 13, which will give you 52. And then the last is going to be the right and the left. So we go ahead, I want a different color, do purple. Got that guy. We've got that guy. The dimensions of the right and the left are 4 and 7. So 4 times 7, 4 times 7, we get 28. 28, so 91 plus 91. And what you do now is you add them up. So this is the area of each face. So to find the total surface area, you're going to add up all of these. You're going to do 91 plus 91 plus 52 plus 52 plus 28 plus 28. And I got 342. Now, since this is area, it's going to be squared. Okay? Area is always squared. It's two-dimensional. So it's going to be 342 yards squared. All right, next it says find the volume of the triangular prism. So if you remember, the formula for the volume of a triangular prism is 1/2 times base, width, and height. Or I'm sorry, length, width, and height, not base. Or you could think of it as length, width, height, length times width times height divided by 2. Same exact formula, just different ways to look at it. And if we look here at our figure, our length is 6, our width is 6, and our height is 12. So we could go ahead and plug that in. 1/2 times 6 times 6 times 12. And when you plug that into your calculator, you should get 216. Now, you'll get the same thing if you do it this way. If you use the other formula and do 6 times 12 divided by 2, you will get the exact same thing. And since this is volume, our units are going to be cubed. It's three-dimensional. So it's going to be 216 inches cubed. Next, we have the volume of a rectangular prism. The formula for the volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So that's going to give us our volume. Our length is, let's see, 6 is our length, we will say, is 12. Our width is 8, and our height is 6. Now, it really does not matter what you label your length, your width, and your height. Because of what we call the commutative property. Let's say you made your width 12 and your length 8, you will get the exact same answer. So don't stress out too much about that. So now that we've identified our variables, we're going to plug them in. We get 12 times 8 times 6. So if you plug that into your calculator, you should get 576. And again, this is volume, which means it's going to be the unit cubed. So for number 9, what is the volume of the pyramid below? Use correct units. So the formula for the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times length times width times height, or length with height divided by 3. Again, same thing. So here we'll say our length is 5, our width is 2, and our height is 5. So we can go ahead and plug that in. We get 1/3 times 5 times 2 times 5. And I got 16.66 repeating. And then again, that's volume, so it's going to be inches cubed. Again, if you were to have plugged it into the other formula, did 5 times 2 times 5 divided by 3, you will also get the 16.66. Repeating, use whichever formula you feel most comfortable with. And for the last problem, it says if the volume of a triangular prism is 2,160 centimeters cubed, and the width is 18 centimeters and the length is 16 centimeters, what is the height? So an important part of approaching these word problems is making sure that you have the formula for the figure that they're talking about. So here they're asking for the volume of a triangular prism. And that, if you recall, is 1/2 times length, width, height. Let's say they said the volume of a pyramid. You would have to use this formula. If they said the volume of a rectangular prism, you'd have to use that formula. So make sure you pay attention to what shape they are referring to. So now we know it's a triangular prism, so we are using our 1/2 length, width, height formula. And they tell us that and we know that this equals volume, right? So they tell us that our volume is 2,160, our width is 18, and our length is 16. And they're asking for the height, so that's what we're searching for here. So we get 1/2 times our length, which is 16, times our width, which is 18, times our height, which we don't know, and that equals 2,160. So now what you want to do is you want to multiply all of these numbers that are attached to the 8. So if you do 1/2 times 16 times 18, you get 144. So you get 144H equals 2160. And then all you need to do now is solve for the height. So you divide by 144. And when you do that, you should get 15. And since height is just the length of something, it's one-dimensional, it's just going to be 15 centimeters. But piece of advice, make sure that when you're taking the test, you pay attention to what the shape is so that you use the right formula. It may not be a triangular prism, so make sure that you use the correct formula. All right? Of course, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.